How's it going, YouTube? This is Skull, and this is a 4K UHD copy of Disney's latest animated film, Wish. I am about one of 8 people who actually owns this for a variety of reasons. One reason is that the 4K is exclusive to this steelbook, which is exclusive from Walmart. So if you were to try and pick up the film from literally anywhere else, you max out at the Blu-ray version. If you want the 4K, you need to pay a premium for the steelbook, so there's not a lot of people who got this. But I think that the number one reason that people didn't pick this up is because people really didn't like this film. And the reason that I picked it up, aside from just owning every single Disney animated film in 4K, the highest quality possible, is I liked Wish. I actually liked this a lot. When I saw it in theaters last year, I saw it in 3D, which many people didn't. I'm sure people don't care about 3D, but as far as the film itself goes, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought that it felt like a great classic Disney film. It had that bit of charm and that bit of magic that I'm used to from Disney. And I'm not going to say that this is the best film ever, or even that it's in the top 10 or top 30 of Disney's animated films, but I genuinely don't understand why people hate this. For things that I liked about Wish, I actually really liked the art style. I know a lot of people didn't, but I thought that it was nice. It looked like it was a painting come to life. I really loved the villain, and Chris Pine was perfectly cast to play Magnifico. His song was super fun. It's still stuck in my head now. It never left ever since I stopped seeing the film. This film just looked and felt like it was a true return to form for Disney. This was the first time we had a true villain in a Disney film since Tangled almost 15 years ago. This felt like it was Disney taking a step back and saying, okay, what worked for our films way back then? Let's go ahead and try and make a modern take on it. I wouldn't say that they nailed it, but they made the attempt, and I thought that it was a pretty good attempt. Again, this is not the best Disney film of all time, but it's still good, and even now, several months later, after I've had time to think about it and look at all the criticisms, if the worst I can say is that Wish is good but not great, that still means that it is a good film to me. My social media on Twitter and YouTube and other places has just been littered. It has been flooded with people who have been criticizing this film ever since it first released. And it's been really discouraging for me to see all of the hatred for this film that I thought was okay. There were accusations that the film had been written by AI instead of by a real writer. And frankly, I find that insulting. We are faced with the very real problem of AI taking over the entertainment industry. Wish was written by real people, and to even joke that it was written by an AI, I think is insulting to the people who did write it, the creatives who did bring it to life. And you could make the argument that maybe it shouldn't have been made at all if it was as bad as it turned out, but they tried really hard to make a film that celebrated the Disney company's 100th anniversary. Whether it landed or not, it's not for me to decide, but I enjoyed it and people enjoyed it. And just because some people didn't, they felt like they had to make hour-long essays and write so many hateful things about this just because they thought it was not good. Please listen carefully to what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that Wish is a masterpiece. I'm not even saying it's a great film or an instant classic or anything like that. All I'm saying is that for myself, it felt like classic Disney. I could see the work that was put into it, the effort that the creative team put into to try and make this a celebration of the company's 100th. If it landed or not, I don't know, but they tried. And like I said, for me personally, I enjoyed it. I watched this film and I came out of it thinking that was a good movie. And it's really frustrating when I am just bombarded on social media by all these other people who are not only telling me it's not a good movie, but that I'm in the wrong for enjoying it. Wish is not the only movie that suffers from this. In fact, it feels like most of the movies from last year that people hated, I liked a lot. I really liked Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I thought the new Indiana Jones film was better than 2 of the others, so, smack dab in the center, 3 out of 5, not bad. I really loved the Marvels, the the Marvels film from Marvel, and I don't understand why people don't. The live-action Little Mermaid was a beautiful film, and I thought was a prime example of how animated films should be adapted to live action. I called it one of my top 3 favorite live-action adaptations ever, right there underneath The Jungle Book and The 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close. You probably noticed that every single film I just listed was from Disney, and I'm probably going to get a lot of people saying, well, you're just a Disney shill, you're just a fanboy, he's wearing a freaking shirt that he bought in Disneyland Paris last year. But I don't like every single thing from Disney, and I'm not going to defend a lot of their stuff that they've made or a lot of their corporate practices that they've done. If I could give some examples on things that I didn't like, for example, the film before Wish, Strange World, I think is their worst animated film ever. It was so boring, and I can't even watch it a second time. It was all I could do to get through it the first time. Thought Strange World was awful. In terms of MCU, I hated Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I really hated She-Hulk, and the worst offender of all was Secret Invasion. That was the first MCU anything I saw that I actively wished afterwards that not only that I never saw, but had never been made. So hey, I am not here to defend Disney. In fact, I'm also not a fan of the fact that for Disney and Pixar and MCU and basically everything they're doing, I'm not a fan of a lot of the stuff coming up in the future. The fact that most of Pixar's and Disney Animation's next films are going to be sequels, when in the past their best stuff has always been original films. I'm not a fan of that. I'm just saying all of that to make it clear that I am not a Disney shill. I'm not here to defend every single thing Disney does. All I'm saying is that I liked Wish, and I liked all those other films that Disney made. So you could probably ask the question, why am I bothering to make this video then? It's because even though I liked Wish and all those other films, it's really hard to be on the internet these days and continue liking them when most everyone, it feels like everyone, is telling me that I'm not allowed to. Let me give a more tangible example here. So I have the same problem with the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I am a huge Star Wars fan. If anyone's watched my YouTube channel long enough, then you'd know that. My favorite film of the Star Wars saga is Star Wars The Force Awakens, Episode 7. I have a really hard time watching that now, because in the years since it came out, since all the sequels came out, all I have heard is nothing but hatred towards the sequels. It feels like anyone who's defending the sequels is doing it ironically, or it's people who are on an extreme spectrum of politics or whatever. Like, it really feels like the only people who are defending the sequels are not doing it because they actually think the sequels are good. I liked the sequels, some more than others, but I did like them. And it is almost impossible for me to watch any of the films now because every time I do, I've got all that criticism sitting in the back of my head. People who have complained about supposed plot holes or underdeveloped characters or bad visual effects or just any number of things. And it is almost impossible now for me to sit down and truly enjoy those films. My favorite Star Wars film I cannot sit down and watch because of all the hatred it's gotten, because of all the people telling me I'm wrong to enjoy it. And it's much the same way with Wish. I just got this 4K. I'm one of the few people in the world who owns it on 4K, and I'm really looking forward to watching it. But even now, whenever I'm thinking about the film, I'm beginning to think of all of those problems that people have brought up that they have with the film. Same with all those other films, both from last year and basically any film that I've ever enjoyed that I have heard nothing but criticism for online. It's easy enough to just ignore one person or two people or even a group of people who say they didn't like it, because then I could easily say, well, I enjoyed it, that's all that matters. But when I get thousands of people bombarding me daily, not me personally, but just putting it out there that they thought that Wish was nothing more than a product from woke Disney that's just caring about their corporate bottom line and not about the creative process of making a film anymore. How am I supposed to enjoy the film when I can't stop hearing stuff like that? So this is the bottom line. This is the number one reason I am making this video. If you liked Wish keep liking it. Forget about all those other people. Forget about all of the people who are criticizing Wish, criticizing Disney, criticizing anything about all of this. If you liked Wish, keep liking it. Don't let anyone stop you. That goes for everything. It goes for the Star Wars sequels. It goes for the Marvels or Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It goes for books and TV shows. It goes for anything that you love. Keep loving it. Don't let the negativity stop you. And if this is the only video on the whole internet that defends Wish, that is my hope, that you come out of this realizing that there is someone out there who likes Wish, so please keep letting them like it. I realize this is one of my weaker videos, but it felt like it was something that I needed to talk about, and really it just felt like something I needed to vent about. So that's where this video is going to end. I am now going to go into my living room, plop this in my 4K player, and watch Disney's Wish. And you know what? I'm probably still going to enjoy it. That's where this video will end. Please consider subscribing and liking the video if you enjoyed it, and if not, you know what to do. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.